Greetings viewers, Eric the Car Guy here, also known as ETCG1. Yep, because of the hat. If it's your birthday, I want to wish you a happy birthday. I thought I'd catch you up to speed on what's going on with the Fairmont. As far as ETCG1 topics right now, well, honestly, about all I can think about is this flipping car right here. And I love it. Absolutely love it. Also talked about in other ETCG1 videos. Are you sick of it yet? I give updates to premium members quite often. However, I'll give an update to all of y'all at large here today as far as where the Ford Fairmont stands. It is June 2nd, 2016. I'm intent on getting this project completed by the time the meetup rolls around. I would love to have this thing running and driving so that those that come to the meetup get a chance to see that up close and personal. Before we get there, we still got some work to do, although we've got quite a bit of work knocked out. In fact, you'll notice I have front wheels now. That's something I didn't have not long ago. But I'm just going to give you a quick walk around as far as where the Fairmont project is today, what is on the docket for me to actually work on today. Also, you're going to be like, Eric, where's the Fairmont videos? Okay. I have shot probably more than 60 videos on this build so far. I'm working through those edits. In fact, I have some that are already edited, uploaded, and ready to go. Right about this same time is when the videos for Pull Apart got the okay, so those are all coming out. I've been wanting to share those with you for a while. So you've got a little Pull Apart sort of in between that's happening, but after that, you're gonna be inundated with Fairmont videos. You're gonna be saying, Eric, I remember when you used to do repair videos. You're doing it wrong. Most common things I hear in the comments and elsewhere. All right, done talking. Let's check out what I got going on here. The whole front suspension is in. The old engine has been removed. Videos have been shot on all of this. But you know, as far as when this video comes out and when those videos come out, well, it just sort of depends. Anyway, remove the old K member along with the old engine. I had to swap the K member over anyway because the straight 6 and the V8 K members are different. So no matter what, I needed to get this, but I got the stabilizer bar, the K member, and a lot of parts for the front suspension, the front struts, all that stuff from a viewer in Washington State who sold this all to me as a package deal. I also got the rear lower control arms and that stabilizer bar that you see back there for that same deal, which was awesome, about 800 bucks. I had just about my entire suspension. I also got this power steering, I also got this steering rack, which is the manual rack, and everybody's like, Eric, you can't run a manual rack, you're gonna hate it. Well, you know what, I've already tried it, I don't hate it. However, used parts, yeah. Got a little boot damage there, but that's not a big deal, especially now before it's aligned. So I'm working on getting those boots. All right, well that's that stuff. What you'll see here is a condenser. Yep, I'm gonna run AC. How ironic that I don't have power steering, yet I'm running AC. Once again, this rack came as part of a package deal, and I thought, you know, why not? This system is off of a newer Mustang, and I've got everything that goes from the condenser all the way over to the evaporator, and I haven't solved that part yet. But I have a new compressor, everything, and I wanted to get that now, even if I don't have the evaporator stuff, because that way I'll be able to get the drive belt and everything that I need, the correct size for the engine, so we can take things from there. But I also have the radiator, which I test fitted the other day, but this condenser, I got a little creative when I installed it. I didn't shoot any videos of this stuff, so I don't mind sharing it with you now, but these normally go into rubber brackets. I just bent them and put them here, and it's not going anywhere. Did the same thing up over on this side. Just sort of bent things in and ran my own screws. I'm leaving it all plugged off there for now. You might yell at me. I'll let this down so we can look at this from up above. I got other stuff to show you. I couldn't find a paint match for the inside of this, and I'm not detailing the engine compartment. I'm not doing that for two reasons. The main reason being time. Remember I said I wanted to get this done before the meetup, and I told you what date it was? Well, basically that means I got about 5 weeks to finish this car. So not doing any like serious detail work, but there was some rust here behind the battery, and I wanted to basically cover that up. So I cleaned it up, primed it, painted it, and there's that. This is the old speedo gear. My new speedometer is GPS, so it doesn't really matter. But the coil springs, those were a pain in the patoot to put in, I gotta tell you. And I'll admit that the bottom seat that you put on the coil spring on this side going in got damaged, and I'm gonna have to replace it. Oh well, the brakes, did those yesterday also. These tie rod ends you're probably looking at and wondering what the heck. Well, they're special tie rod ends that prevent bump steer, which is something the suspension is prone to. I'll be covering those in the video about that stuff. In fact, we're gonna wrap up that part of it today, because I did something really cool that probably can't easily be seen. Yeah, there we go. Made my own steering stops. I'll talk more about those in that steering video. Also had to do a little modification to the steering shaft because it was too short. Yes, that's a piece of pipe from my air system, a little piece of leftover. You gotta get creative when doing this stuff. I told you I love doing this work. Here's all the old parts that came out, the old K-member and front suspension and brakes and everything. That's also the old condenser. It was a R12 system. I couldn't reuse it. As far as this being heavy, yes, it is heavier than what I have in there now, but my new engine is like 30 or 40 pounds heavier than the normal engine block. So it may be a net zero gain, but I'm certainly happier with a tubular version of this K-member over what this was. All right, so we have an empty tunnel going back here. Now back here, you'll be seeing some videos on the differential soon. In fact, those are gonna be the first in the series. I had to get a little creative in moving these around. Back here, the brakes, yeah, that was all fun. But I really like my work on this differential. I was really proud of that. Had to move that brake line over from the Mustang, which is sitting over there, to here in order to make that work. And on today's docket, I'm going to be mounting the fuel pump up in here and getting the fuel system put together. I'm also relocating the battery to the trunk and running the cables up front for that, getting my grounds and everything all set up. So we've got quite a day on tap, but we have 4 wheels on the Fairmont now. I'll let it down so you can see some of the other stuff. On the way down, I noticed, I just wanted to show you how closely the brakes fit with these wheels. And it's kind of cool that the SVE comes up. So as I'm driving, you'll get a chance to see that. But yeah, these brakes, these are like 12-inch brakes. The wheels that were on here were 14-inch before it came to these wheels. I find that just really ironic that the brakes that I have are almost as big as the wheels that were on here. I took the front grille off partly to make it easier to fit the intercooler, which I held it in place, and I don't have the engine or the turbo or anything installed yet. And I'm gonna wait until I do before I start fabricating my brackets. It doesn't make sense to mount this and then try to make it fit. I wanna see where my pipes come in and out, make sure that those are correct. Also got camber correction plates on the top, installed those yesterday along with the front suspension, new master cylinder. I'm probably gonna get a new brake booster. This one makes a squishy noise every time I step on it, and that kind of annoys me. I don't know if a newer one that wouldn't have that noise. I considered not running power brakes with a turbo. I don't know how that's gonna work out. Obviously there's a check valve and it's gonna have vacuum sometimes, but we'll just have to wait and see on that one. But this is pretty much the engine compartment cleaned out. I'm gonna take that out, clean it, and reuse it. I mean, it's got an overflow and my windshield washer stuff. I'll make sure that motor works. That might be something else I do today. There's another look at my steering shaft, which I'm very proud of. Like I said, that was way too short, so we had to make it longer. And the inside of what will be the engine compartment. Oh, by the way, the name of my engine sort of came about in a strange way, which will be covered in the engine series, but the name of my engine is Dark Matter Pikachu. Yep. I'm also getting set up to install the clutch cable, which is gonna go in that hole, which is not big enough. So all kinds of challenges. But I think it looks cool like this without a front grille. Kind of neat, all junkyard, whatever. But that is pretty much it. All right, I'll put it on the ground so you can check the stance. But that's, the steering is how the steering is gonna be. Although, this steering wheel is okay, it does fit the car. All right, I'll give you that. But what I'm considering is putting the Mustang steering wheel in. In fact, I'm using the Mustang steering column because it's just a solid column. It doesn't have the shifter, like come over here. This column has the shifter for the automatic above it. And I don't want to run that. There's a big gaping hole there. So not only do I have the steering column, but I also have this boot for the single that's going to go into here. Keep out some of the road noise, that type of thing. These coil springs actually came with that deal I talked about. My drive shafts '99 Explorer fits in there perfect. It's aluminum drive shaft, and this is the one that was in the Mustang. I'm gonna have to swap the ends over though. So I got a U-joint / swapping ends over video coming for you. This Mustang, the way this thing was put together, eek. I'm just kicking around the idea, I'm just floating this out there now. Kicking around the idea of possibly doing a budget build with this car in the end, because I'll let you in on a little secret. The engine that I had that was bad, or had that damage to the cylinder walls, was never bored out. In fact, it had a stock bore size, so may be able to machine that old engine back to life. That being the case, if I'm able to do that, obviously I have to get some cylinder heads and stuff for it, but this may become some sort of Mad Max budget build, because I always liked the way this car sounded. Those mufflers shooting straight at the ground, I love the way this car sounded. And this one, I'm not going for a thumpy, throaty sound, so I might miss that. Anyway, let's check the stance. I assure you, it is not on the jack stands. And yes, you probably would have noticed that the wheels move forward quite a bit. So far, it doesn't seem to have clearance issues, so I think I'm okay, but it is a little goofy looking. However, ride quality might improve a little bit with a longer wheelbase. And with no engine up front, you really can't see where this is gonna sit. So I don't quite like where that sits in there, but I'd have to redo the front suspension in order to make that happen. Probably this spindle. The spindle may be what's causing it to sit that way. This is how it sits in the back. I love it. I absolutely flippin' love it. Yep, there's a look at my differential poking out underneath there. But yeah, unassuming, Fairmont. And the more I think about it, the more I look at this without hubcaps, the more I like it just like this. Just black wheels with this, I don't know what color this is. I don't know if it's the Ford thinks it's a yellow or what, but I like this color. I don't care what anybody says, I like it. Well, there you have it, ETCG1 viewers, an overview of where I am on the Fairmont project. Like I said, really can't think about much else right now, sorry, but I think a lot of you are living vicariously through me and enjoying the build, and I think you're really gonna enjoy these videos. I've really enjoyed making it. I've said it before, I love this work. I love this work. Oliver seconds it. Automotive questions? Head down in the description. There'll be a link to ericthecarguy.com. You can go there, get them answered. Google+, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. If you wish to connect with me socially, be safe, have fun, stay dirty. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.